Welcome to Lesson 6. In this lesson we're going to be talking about something called the box model. We also talk about something called a div, which is a HTML structural element, and we're also going to learn how to use ID selectors in CSS. So let's start out with the box model. Before you started this lesson, I wanted you to read the tutorial on the W3 Schools website on the box model. I'm going to fill in and just give you a little bit of detail on this information. But you should have read this already. If you have not read this yet, then I want you to stop this video, read it, and then come back and start the video again. Okay, the box model. The box model is just this idea that every HTML, well not every, almost every HTML element is going to have these parts to it. There's something called content. For the paragraph, for example, content would be your words. Then there's padding, border, and margin. I'm going to do a little demonstration with the paragraph element and then talk about the box model as it relates to the paragraph element. So in Notepad++, I've got some lorem ipsum dummy text in here with 3 paragraphs. Okay, you might want to do the same. So if you need to pause and do that now. Up in the head, I have a style sheet. I'm using a global style sheet. Style opening, style closing, type attribute, text/CSS is my value. Okay, I'm going to create a style rule for the paragraph element. So I'll use my element selector, P, my declaration block, and I'm going to start with one declaration. I'm going to change the background color. This is something we've already done. We use CSS to change the background color of the body element. This time we're going to do it to paragraph. So background color. Background dash color is my property. My value is going to be, I'm going to use saddle brown. It's one that I like. Save it. Launch in Firefox. And you'll notice each of those paragraphs have their own background. This is the box, okay? Almost every element in HTML is built on this idea of the box. The box, when you start out, it goes right to the edge of our content. You'll notice that on the left edge and on the bottom edge, it's actually touching the edge of the box, okay? Now the box has several parts to it. It's got content. The content in this case are my words, okay? That's content. Next thing I want to talk about is padding. Padding is the area that separates the content from the edge of the box. And it's like this. This is our property. It's padding. And then our value is going to be some sort of increment of measurement. We are going to use pixels in this case, okay? I'm just going to set it to 15 pixels. In the future, we might use something relative, something like percent or ems, something to that effect. So padding, 15 pixels. And then I'm going to refresh. And you see what it did is it gave us 15 pixels of space in between our content and the edge of the box. It spaces things out nicely. Padding is one of the things you need on almost all of your HTML elements. The reason is you usually don't want content touching the edge of your box. It's just not a good thing. It looks bad. Now, border is the next thing. So we had content in the middle, padding in between the content and the edge of the box. Border goes right around the edge of the box. Okay, border can be done in several ways. I'm going to show you the shorthand way of doing it. Border needs a width, a style, and a color for it to show properly. Width comes first, so I'm going to set it at 5 pixels. Space, style, solid, space, orange. All right, save it, go over here, refresh it, and there we've got it. We've got orange border, 5 pixels. Okay, so you can see where that border takes place. It's right at the edge of our box. And the last part of the box model is margin. Margin is that area in between the border of one element and the border of the other element. I'm going to set it to something pretty big for right now so you can see an extreme change. I'm going to set it to 75 pixels. That's a pretty big margin. We won't normally use a margin that big. And you can see it pushed the edge of the box 75 pixels away from the edge of the browser, and we've got 75 pixels of space in between all of our boxes here. So that's the box model. To sum it up, we've got content, we've got padding, the area in between content and edge of box, we've got border, which is the line that can go around the edge of the box, and we've got margins, the area in between the border and the edge of the page, or the border and another element over. So that's the box model.